How's it going, everybody? Gigas Thickest here, and in today's video we're gonna talk about Gigas in season 4. So we're gonna strictly focus on the changes, and we're gonna cover some scenarios, ways to use the buffs, because some people are like, cool, he got buffs, but how do I implement it in my game plan? And I highly agree, some of these changes are cool, but they're not, you just press a button and now it just does additional shit. You have to react on a couple of things. You have to make sure that you can do some stuff like that. So I'm gonna try my best and cover as much as I know for you guys on the season 4 Gigas. Keep in mind, like I already said, this is only actually really focused on season 4 Gigas. So if you're interested in like a Gigas guide in general, this won't be the video, but I do have a playlist you can actually check out if you're interested on Gigas in its entirety. You know how he plays, like in general, just Gigas in general. This will just purely focus on the season 4 changes and the reasons, and the reasons, the strats behind using the moves that got buffed, or got changed in general. So I hope that clears out what this video will be, and without further ado, let's get into this. So alright, I'm also gonna cover the buffs again. I'm only gonna cover the buffs that are like clearly a big buff, or a different thing to do now, because stuff like down forward 1+2, down forward 1+2 being nerfed, yeah, that's not really worth mentioning in this. This is a guide about moves that got really buffed and the ways how to use it, or the focus on the move that got buffed. So the first example is the Goliath 1. This is the mid, and the mid does 25 instead of 20. This is pretty nice because in general everybody got 5 HP more, with the season 4 generic change, and the wall does a little bit less damage now. But Gigas, this is pretty strong against the wall. You get wall splats, and again it does 5 additional damage, which is very nice. So I can tell you a couple of ways to go into this back to, or into the Goliath stance. My favorite ones is if you do a combo, let me do a very basic combo, and you end it with 4-4-4-2, enter to back 2. So why did that work? This only works against quick rolling opponents, which is pretty common. If they stay on the ground, back 2 will whiff, but you do have refloaters to fear them, or make them fear that they have to stand up again. So that's one of them, and one of the easiest one and the oldest one in the book is after wall splat, 4-2-1 into back 2. If you don't know this, now you know. This is a very old thing we did since season 1, so this is kind of like the boomer tech. 4-2-1 into the back 2 for the mid, or for the high. You can go from there. Do keep in mind, however, by the way, if you notice that the opponent is pretty defensive, if you do like plus frames and they're not pressing a button, back 2 is there to help you open up the player. So if I put him on guard, you're poking, you're doing like a low that hits, he doesn't commit to challenge you back. You can go for down 2 or down back 2 into back 2. You can go for plus frames into the back 2 again. You see where this is going? If they're fearing a string like 4-4-4-2, that has a very good reason to fear the second hit, because it launches, it does a lot of damage. You could go for 4-4-4 into back 2. Stuff like that helps you to use your back 2 more often. Same goes for forward 4. This one just tracks a little bit better, it's slower, and this one is faster. So that is kind of how you go for how you enter Goliath easily in the open, in the neutral. Gotta pressure them first. You can go for 1 into the back 2. This is something I do a lot, jab into back 2 if they're defensive. So go from there. The next change is on the 10 frame punish, and when I saw this first, I could not really believe that they actually gave Gigas a buff on his 10 frame. So why? People say that 2D characters has the best 10 frame. I kind of disagree, because this 10 frame punish has a lot of range. It's super easy to do. It is literally 1 and 2. So compared to like Eliza jabbing to DP2, it's way less execution heavy for a very damaging punish. And this also wall splats clean, so if you do that against the wall, that speaks for himself. You will get a combo. So this is very strong, and how you can use this is my favorite ways to do it is if you do like a move like 442 on block, right? 442 is a very strong way to demonstrate what I mean with this. 442 on block, it creates pushback, right? Back 3, same principle there. It creates pushback. With the newly buffed 4-1+2, and I'm gonna cover this move later, it creates pushback. So I'm gonna show you something what is pretty common and how you can just go ahead and punish a lot of people on their, you know, whiff punishment or stuff like that. Alright, so I'm Hayachi now, and I recorded Gigas doing 442 into 1 backdash into 1-2, and stuff like this actually happens online, so I'm going to show you what I mean with the example. Stuff like that happens. So this is just an electric as an example because electric recovers pretty fast, but Hayachis online often go for like a down for 1 maybe, or you know, the 1-1 or 4-4-2, and if you backdash clean enough, you can also avoid 4-4-2. So stuff like that really helps you pumping a lot of damage with 1-2. Keep in mind, by the way, 1-1-2 does 35 damage, so do that times 5 and you have 175 damage. So that is someone dead. That's why the 1-2 punish is very strong. So please try and train your matchup knowledge. So if someone is minus 11, make them pay with this punishment. It's super strong to do. Alright, and now we're gonna talk about his standing 4. This move, this pretty weird but funny looking move. It got buffed as well. It is +4 on hit instead of minus, or plus, wow, imagine minus. That would be something for Gigas, but normally that was +2, it now is +4. And why this is pretty good? First of all, it's a mid. It has pretty decent range, as you can see here. It's like, that's decent. That's like jab range, as you can see, and that is good for Gigas. It covers its weak side, because this side is his weak side, and now you can cover sidestepping with this move. But the biggest selling point on being +4 is you can frame trap way better now compared to +2. +2 you kind of had like down for 3 1+2 as an example, but if they did a jab, they will interrupt it, right? If you try down for 4 1+2, they could even magic for you and you will lose. But now you can go for standing 4 into like down for 4 1+2. It's a frame trap. They have to eat that. If they're not gonna block and are gonna press a button, you will frame trap them. Same rule also applies with down for 3 1+2. So here we go. That is a launch. That is a launch. So please, it's kind of difficult also for me. Trust me, this is very difficult for me to also alternate my playstyle around other moves, but I should also use this move more often because that launches now. This move, it is -9 on block, so that is kind of like a con, but here's also a good thing on 4. If they block it and you space it correctly, you know, if you're doing it deep, your turn is over, right? -9, you're literally in his face, so you gave away your turn. But if you space it right, notice that we do have a little bit of distance in between each other. So if you play against a stumpy range character like maybe Miguel, this can actually do wonders, you see? So let's compare one more time. This is from deep. We're pretty much dead here. But if we do it like here, this is gonna reach. Look at that. We still have a little bit of space left. So again, try it. It also has a very appealing counter hit knockdown property on the move. So against the wall, you know, this is pretty nice. From plus frames into this, also pretty nice, especially against the wall. Again, that knocks down a wall splats against the wall. So yeah, you can always give this move a try. We're gonna move on to one of the best buffs in my opinion, and same rules apply on 4 for me. I should really use this move more often. Normally this move would be -9 without any pushback on block. Now you can clearly see it's -5, which is beautiful compared to -9, and it also has pushback. And like I said before with the 10 frame punishment, if we can create pushback on block, that is all in Gigas' favor. Same rule applies here. If you do this on block, you backdash once. If they do like a jab or something, you can actually down 2 even or 1-2. So let me show you what I mean. stuff like that. You know, now I did electric just for fun, but the same rule applies for down for 1, same rule applies for 1-1. You can wait, backdash a little bit. This is literally one backdash. You can also Korean backdash out of there for even more space to create, right? And don't forget, this move on its own, if you hit this normally, is +6 and it forces crouch on hit. So the same rule applies here. You can frame trap it down for 4 1+2, down for 3 1+2. You can go from down here with frame traps. Down for 2 1 if you're against the wall, or if he is, you know, or if he's against the wall. You can frame trap people with this move on hit as well. And on block it's super safe now. So try for 1+2. It is a very nice move, but keep in mind it's a high, and some players, they tend to crush high a bit more often than you plan to, right? Plan to fight against. So keep in mind, if you fight against a character that is pretty evasive, you know, high crush properties, you should be a little bit more limited on 4 1+2. That will be crushed if you don't pay attention on it. Now we enter down for 4 1+2. In my opinion, most definitely Gigas' best string. Why? The move on its own, it's a mid starter, so that's already very nice. It has very good range. It also tracks both sides, so left and right, like very easy, comfortably. But also on block, it's just -3, so it's very safe. And if you space it correctly, you have space in between, which is always welcome for Gigas, right? And his follow-up, being 1+2, is +1 on block. So this is the string on its own. Then in season 3, they made it so that if you hit this on counter hit, the entire string jails for 44 damage and +5 on hit. Also forces crouch, which is gigantic. Again, you know, frame traps are possible. If you play against a defensive player, you can go for back 2, back 1+2 for plus. That is season 3. In season 4, they even tuned this move into oblivion with buffs. And 2 buffs in particular. One, you can enter the stance after doing down for 4 1+2. And as you can see already, it gives us +3 on block. On block, which is amazing for Gigas in this stance. I'm gonna mention that later on. But the second buff he got on counter hit, if the second hit is the one hitting on counter hit, it now launches this. And also look at the damage. That is 36 damage. That's a bunch. You will hurt a lot if you hit someone with this move. Okay, so why did I say being +3 on block in this stance is pretty nice? Okay, first of all, don't forget you can do the grab out of this stance, right? Notice how it says 11 frames. It says 11 frames startup, the grab. You see that? So in theory, this is truly uninterruptible. This is literally a free grab attempt, unless they crush it, you know, with a full crouch sweep as an example. Lee has one, full crouch down for 4. They will crush it. They can also break it. That's why I said an attempt. It's a very strong attempt, however, because they cannot interrupt this. Let me show you what I mean. Alright, so I am Hayachi again, Hayachi, and I am playing against this beautiful red guy with tentacles on helicarrier, and he does this string. I also have my input notation on so you can see what I press, and I'm gonna press while standing 4. As you can see, it's 11 frames. So let's play the AI doing the string, and let's try to interrupt me while standing 4. You can't. You cannot. See, you cannot. This is what you call a frame trap. Again, maybe that's something you didn't know yet, and I mentioned it a lot in this video. Now you know what it means. Frame trapping is preventing the player to do something after a sequence, like a string or something. Sometimes you're so advantageous on block, it's still your turn, and if they press something, they make a mistake. So this is one of the things as well, being very nice for Gigas, you know, the buff. You cannot interrupt this with a move, unless again I'm going for down jab, but oh damn, I'm gonna die now, right? He did so much damage. Wow, I'm dead already. However though, Hayachi has a full crouch sweep, so that is gonna beat it. So let me show you what I mean with that. That is kind of fucked up for Gigas. But here is like a mind game. If he does that, you know, maybe he's not able to break the grab or something and he wants to go for the full crouch move, you can actually deliver more pain, because now we're going to do something else. So now I recorded Gigas doing something else, which is Golem 1. That is like active in 15 frames and you're at +3, making it a 12 frame launcher. So it doesn't matter how fast this sweep is, it's gonna get launched. One more time, you're gonna get launched. So this is only this string on block. You can also go for safety. You know, I prefer safety. That sounded kind of weird if you put it out of context, but I prefer yeah, I cannot talk anymore. I prefer safety, as in +3 into the back hop is super safe now. I already did with 4-2 down 1 being -3 on block, and sometimes a jab could reach me because I'm minus, but now being plus makes a big difference. So let me show you what I mean. Notice that it says punish. So if you hard read and while standing retaliation, you know he's trying to get his turn back or something like that, you can go for down 2, you can go for 1-2, which got buffed. So that is down 4-4 1+2. And before we move on the next move or the buff, one more thing on down 4-4 1+2. This string is also your wall combo ender, your vanilla wall combo ender. Everybody did it. You know, the jab into down 4-4 1+2. This allows for amazing, and I repeat, amazing wall pressure. So I'm gonna record one segment from Gigas. We're gonna do like a down 2 into the wall, into the Oki that down 4-4 1+2 allows now, into another wall combo, and you're gonna see the total damage. So I'll be right back. That's pretty good. We did 156 damage out of a down 2 into the down 4-4 1+2 Oki. So let me explain that Oki real quick. So what you saw there was like a very basic down 2 into the wall, and against the wall, we had a lot of fun against the wall. That's something I can most definitely say. So let me explain the options we got. So what I did here is after a wall splat, you do the combo into Goliath 2. So why is this so good? Notice he quick rolled here and we're at literally 0. So the neutral, and we have some space in between. So we can backdash again for safety and whiff punishment. It's not his turn, it's not my turn, but we can work with it. This also works on left and or right. It hits quick recovery, back quick roll if they just normally wake up or stand up. You're still at neutral against the wall with Gigas, so you can go for a down 4 if they do a jab, or if they do a jab string, you can go for down back 2 to crush it. If they do down 4-1, you can go for 2-1 to interrupt that of being faster. And here's where the fun begins. If the opponent stays on the ground for like you know, front roll, side roll, left roll, Goliath or Golem 2 beats pretty much all the options. So stand up normally is fine, as you've seen there. But if I do a front roll as an example, I'm not sure why someone would do this, but maybe he has a reason. It will work, it will hit them. Side roll left will hit them grounded. I think the only weakness might be side roll right, so I'm gonna show that real quick now. It whiffs here, but you're still not minus. Notice how fast Goliath or Golem 2 recovers. It recovers really fast. Here comes the fun though. If they do a mid kick or a low kick wake up, yeah, you get an additional wall bounce. And notice how much damage that wall bounce does, and in what kind of angle it puts Hayachi. The angle is so forgiving for Gigas to actually allow a rescrew to the wall again. As you can see, this is like very basic. You can go for even crazier shit, trust me. He is literally that 195 damage. So you can go for crazy shit if they do like a mid kick, low kick. It beats recover. I think it's only weak for recovery kick, the toe kick. But again, it is so much worth taking this risk for, yeah, being +3 and lose a little bit of HP. Also stuffed spring kick. Like that. And if they stay on the ground for maybe a delayed wake up, Gigas just says no. This hits grounded, as you can see. This hits grounded. And you're at +2. It recovers very fast. So this downfall for 1+2 is an understatement saying it's super good for Gigas. It upgrades his game plan. It's super good. Please guys, try the Oki against the wall. It's so much fun. I had a blast day one doing this kind of stuff. Alright, the next one. The next significant change in my opinion. Again, I skipped a couple of them because I don't feel like they are doing a lot for Gigas. Down back 2 dealing additional damage. It normally did 20. It now does 23. So why is this so nice? Gigas, I think they tried to just make him hurt so much more in the open with his 1-2. 23 damage is a bunch. Maybe for you it says, you know, maybe you think, but it's literally 3 points more. For me that's a lot because if you hit it twice, you did 6 more damage. You know, it might sound very stupid what I'm saying right now, but it adds up, right? +3. It is still -14, however. You know, it's also the same speed, but again, it adds up, right? I mean, if I do 1 down back 2 and 1 1-2, that's a bunch of damage. You know, that's good damage. So please, you know, try to use down back 2, but be careful against some characters like Jin, Master Raven. They can launch you. Bob as well. Bob can launch you if you do this. Kazuya as well. So you can most definitely go for pressure with down back 2. You know, also frame trapping with down forward 3 on +2 if they press. So let me show you that real quick. If I just do this into Mimic. Oh god. This into Mimic. That is a free launch for us, right? And if they don't press a button and they're most of the time defensive, here goes the pressure, right? Pressure train is gonna run. Or, you know, back 2, go from there. That's kind of the easy way to open up players. Or you can also go for the very old but gold command grab buffer from down back 2. Alright, and now we entered Gigas' new move. Everybody got a new move in Season 4. Maybe you didn't know, now you know. Gigas also got a new move, and I have to break it to you guys. I find, for me, it's fun to use. It's a cool move. But it's not like the move we're asking for. We would, you know, we would love a low out of his golem stance, and we got it. It only is pretty slow. It's 20 frames. It is neutral on hit, and that is very intriguing. And it also has a follow-up, being a high. -1 though. So what are the uses on this move? Alright, first of all, it allows for new combos, so that is kind of cool. You know, a newer wall carry as well, you know, farther wall carry, better combos in general. Like I can show you a good example, which is, if I can show you that real quick, if you hit down for 3 1+2 or 4 for 1+2, the basic B&B you did was like maybe this, right? For 66 and decent wall carry. So that's good, right? 66 is nice. But now we can also do this. It is also 69 damage, which is nice, but it carries further. So that is, you know, most definitely a welcoming buff for his wall carry. Only my thing though is I never complain about his wall carry. So for me, it doesn't really it's not really like a wow, this is godlike, you know. So, but the same rule applies on down for 3 1+2. You know, I always did the lazy combo. I did this, you know, basic combo. 75 damage, and it almost carried to the wall. But now I can also go for the new string, which is here, which is pretty nice, right? So that's nice. The low on its own, it does have some uses. But before we move on to that, I should also show the new down 2 B&B without the wall. Normally you did down 2, 4-2-1, jab, down back 3-2 into excavator, right? That was a very easy staple combo that deals 66 damage, decent wall carry. But now with the new string, with the new move, we can do down 2, excuse me, one more time, down 2, 4-2-1, 2-1 into the new screw, into excavator. 71 damage, that is significant more compared to 66, and more wall carry. And for the last time, you know, the last thing on the combos, this also allows for a better low parry. You know, the old school one carries to the wall 47, and without wall it did like 53. 53 is not bad for a low parry, right? But now with the new move, you can do this. $58. So that's a little bit more damage, which is always welcome. And the wall carry on its own is pretty nice as well. So also reaches the wall, as you can see it there. So that is all. Yeah, you know, it is not really what he needed, but it's always welcome having a better low parry combo without wall and with wall to carry to the wall. Always nice to have. Keep in mind though, this combo, the 4 for 1+2 pickup with down for 3-1, this does not work against Xiaoyu. So female characters, I think, like smaller hitbox characters, it does not work against them. I had to learn this on the hard way, so that's why. Keep in mind. So let's talk about the low, because the string in general is not even worth mentioning, right? The string on its own is literally for combos, in my opinion. Yeah, you can go for, yeah, but if you just do the low and they're trying to block it and launch it, you can go for the high. This is a valid point, I'm not gonna lie, right? It's a valid point. It also jails on counter hit, which is cute, you know, it's cute. I mean, it's a 20 frame slow low, so not sure how you can frame trap people in this counter hitting, but maybe you had your maybe you have your way doing it. But let's talk about this low. So this low is -16 on block, so that's kinda, you know, oof. To be very honest, it's pretty oof. Pretty much everybody can launch it except for Gigas, oof. But this might sound weird, but I actually got a lot of mileage with this low, and let me explain why. People are like, why would you duck this? I highly agree. Trust me, day one I really agreed on that testament. Like, why would you block this? It's just 14 damage, neutral on hit. Okay, people got very tempted blocking this to launch it. So if I enter the stance with example back 1+2 or down for 4 1+2, so this, you're at +6 now. So one thing for sure can frame trap them, which is Goliath or Golem 1. I keep saying Goliath, I don't know why, but Golem 1 is a frame trap. You can also go for the grab, which is a huge frame trap. You know, that's uninterruptible by far. But if the opponent doesn't know how to break it, they will duck it. And now they also know we have a low out of the stance, which is launch punishable if I do not complete the string. So that kinda is, it's kinda like a weird mind game to just throw it out sometimes. And if they block it, or if you did it plenty of times, you will see them actually fearing a mix-up. They're like, oh wow, wait, he has that low, right? He now has a low, and he also has a grab, so maybe it's the best option to duck it, to avoid the high, or avoid, yeah, the high grab, you know, the command grab, and also avoid the low. And then Gigas can say, talk to this shoulder real quick though, and you will launch them. So for some reason, trust me, I've used this low plenty of times yesterday, and first thing, I hit a lot of people with this low, and if they blocked it, I was like, well, thanks for the launch. Also keep in mind, this low is the duration, the animation takes long enough for you to command grab buffer in between the string or in between the animation. So kind of looks like this. You see how that almost looked like a slow string? Because it takes so long, you have all the time to buffer half circle back in that animation to go for 4-1+2. And how that looks on the display is like this. You see how long I had the time doing that? Because the animation takes very long. So also at the wall, here we go again. We already mentioned the downfall 4-1+2 buff being very potent with Golem 2. So now some people are actually afraid of that low, which is for me pretty hilarious, but you know, that's me, I guess. You can also make them fear this low, because as you can see, it has pretty good tracking. On the right side, it will hit. You see, the tracking is really good on that low. If they stay on the ground, however, as well, this hits grounded, which is pretty nice. The only weakness though is, I'm not sure if I think it's only weak for spring attack. Yeah, it is weak. I already labbed it, but you know, just to make sure, I'm gonna show you guys the weaknesses immediately, because it's a low. You know, spring kick beats it. But here's the fun thing though. This actually beats wake up low kicks, and it counter hits them. So also with the mid, which is pretty cute. And you can go for mix here. So again, the low on its own, it might be for you pretty mellow, but people will get frustrated by this low poke. So they will either try to low parry it, low block for a launch, and if they do that, you have this shoulder saying hello against the wall, and it wall bounces. So that's pretty nice in my opinion. It also works against side rolls, by the way. It hits grounded, so as you can see, side roll left, side roll right, it will hit. Which is in my opinion pretty neat, right? It's pretty neat. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the low. If you have any other advice on this low, because this low has a very big voice on the internet. Everybody's like, oh, fuck that low, and some people are like, what are you talking about? The low is amazing. I am kind of like in the middle. If they will give us a low that would be a bit faster and plus on hit, I would be losing my mind. But this low is still acceptable in my opinion. It's fine, right? It's fine. It also looks very funny. That's the biggest selling point. It looks super funny, but that's me being biased on Gigas. All right, and on the last buff, or you know, move that got buffed, we're gonna talk about this beautiful move here. I think this is the winner in my opinion, with the 1-2 buff for Gigas and down for 4-1+2, like not in order, right? We all know this move. This move is pretty good on block. It is +4 on block, forces crouch, so it limits a lot of options for the enemy. It's mid, and it in season 3 did nothing on counter hit. First buff first. This now launches on counter hit. Kind of similar to down for 4-1+2, right? Oh, excuse me. Similar to this. It launches now. So the similarity also comes with that you can crouch or stance cancel it now. And if you hit it, you're +7. Here's the magic though. I find it magic. I think maybe for you it's like, okay, who cares? I find this really cool. You're +6 in the stance. On command. You just do this +6 in the stance. So what I mentioned before, you can mix them up with an annoying low poke. I know it's super minus, but again, if they try to launch this, you have a follow-up, which, you know, you can do something with it. But this into this is a true frame trap. So back 1+2 stance into Golem 1, don't try to interrupt me. So I'm gonna try to mimic this. You will launch them. You will launch them. So here's one of the things I love to do with back 1+2. So if you fight against someone defensive, you know, they respect the frames, you can try and crouch cancel back 1+2 into the stance into another one. So normally I did this, right? In the stance or without the stance, you can just easily do this to pressure them. But you want to go into the stance because if this hits on counter hit, you will get a new combo which first of all, looks fucking amazing. But second of all, it's the damage you get on this is, you can already see it. I'm not even completing this combo. It's huge, right? So that's why, in my opinion, you want to enter the stance as much as you can. You can already, you know, you can also not enter the stance and just do this. I mean, it's still +4 on block, so you can still frame trap it down for 1+2. Or down for 3, 1+2. So that's on you. But what I do with back 1+2 now, and I tried it yesterday as well, you can crouch cancel out of the stance. For maybe you didn't know, but you can if you tap up. You see? You tap up, you get out of the stance. You see this? So what does this mean? You can already tell this, right? You can keep pressuring the opponent with back 1+2 into the stance, and that's, for me, amazing. Why, you might ask? First of all, this will test a lot of players' patience, right? And also, if you want to play it very safe, you can just do 1 into the back hop, because you're +6, so you're super safe doing it as well. If you see that they respect it, or they want to go for a bun, the next time you can go for the launch immediately if they press a bun. But if they respect it, you can go into this, and then another one. It's kind of similar to Dragon of Well running 2 pressure, but in his face, and a little bit slower. But here's also the cool thing though. You can go for the new low you got. You can go for the safe shoulder bulge, you know, just make it safe. Or back up, again, I mentioned before. So, if the patience runs out, you can go for the launch. One final thing on the back 1+2, which I find super fun to do as well, is against the wall with our big friend, back 2. So what do I mean with this? This might sound very weird. We all know what back 2 does, right? You can hold it. You can hold forward to run against the opponent, or you just press back 2 into nothing, and you can see it says +15. Back 1+2 is 25 frames. So you do the math. If you do this into back 1+2, that's a frame trap. So let me show you what I mean. All right. So now I changed this the scene a little bit. Gigas is the AI again, doing back 2 into back 1+2. I'm Hayachi, and now again you can see the inputs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna block the back 2 and immediately mash my jab. So if I do jab, you will see what happens. You get launched. So what does this mean? This means that the opponent, you know, if they press a button, like down for 1 as well, I mean, why would this work if a jab even gets counter hit it? They must respect this. They cannot interrupt. Down jab? Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try down jabbing. It trades. So this is your go-to to pressure, because now, even if I did the back 1+2 Gigas here, I could have entered the stance being +6 again in the stance with a wall bounce mid, a low that does that is neutral on hit, or just the shoulder launcher being 15 frames, or I can back hop. You know, I can back hop into safety, and if he does something, I can whiff punish it immediately. So I'm gonna try and show you what I mean with that. Like that. So this is, first of all, it's just super fun to do with Gigas, but competitively, you have a reason to try this. Go for, instead of going for the built-in back 2 mechanic, you can go for back 2 empty into back 1+2, and I already shared you how to enter back 2s easily against the wall if you have like a clean wall splat, if they're defensive. So maybe that helped you a little bit on the game plan with the newer, I guess, iteration of Gigas being the Season 4 Gigas. Alright, so that will be it for today. Again, I'm most definitely gonna lab a little bit more in depth because the season is still young. I should be labbing some setups maybe if I find any. To be honest, some of these moves doesn't really like, you know, show me the gates of new tech, like, you know, with the down back 3-2 to the off axis shenanigans. I don't really think if I can find something like that for Gigas now. But I do, hope that I helped you a little bit with this season 4 overview on Gigas, so you can level up most definitely your wall game is crazy now, and punishment is also something you should not laugh at with Gigas, because damn, 35 damage, 1-2 knockdown, and the wall splats, that's ridiculously good, right? It already was good, but now it's even better. So yeah, I hope that really helped you with questions you had on season 4 Gigas. This all, of course, is my opinion. If you have a different opinion on Gigas season 4, feel free to share it in the comment section below. For me, I love it. I still have to get used on a couple of changes on Gigas. Playing this character for 3 years, it's kind of difficult to react on different animations on hit, as an example, with background +2. And yeah, stay tuned for more gameplay, most definitely. If I find something very cool with Gigas, as in tech setups, stay tuned. I'm gonna also share those as well. And yeah, that will be it for today. Hope you liked it. Stay safe, y'all. You'll see me on stream, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.